Have a nice day. Today is Monday, 11th of December 2023. This day is celebrated as International Mountain Day. International Mountain Day is celebrated on 11 December every year to educate children and people about the role that mountains play in providing fresh water, clean energy, food, and recreation. In Indian history, Indian Navy Day is celebrated every year on December 4 to highlight the role of achievements and the difficulties that Navy people face in December 11. December 11 is a special day. On December 11, we celebrate UNICEF Foundation Day. UNICEF stands for United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Israel's Netanyahu calls on Hamas militants to surrender now. The war is still ongoing, but it is the beginning of the end of Hamas. I say to the Hamas terrorists, it is over, Netanyahu said. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attends the weekly cabinet meeting at the Prime Minister's office in Jerusalem on December 7, 2023. The Hindu newspaper also states that children of imprisoned Iranian activist Narges Mohammadi accept the Nobel Peace Prize on her behalf. The children of imprisoned Iranian activist Narges Mohammadi have accepted this year's Nobel Peace Prize on her behalf in a ceremony in the Norwegian capital. Norway's King Harald and Queen Sonja received the children of this year winner of the Nobel Peace Prize 2023, Narges Mohammadi from Iran, Ali, and Kiana Rahmani at an audience at the palace in Oslo, Norway, December 2023. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that India DNA's United States news outlets report on Khalistan sympathies with strong assert that such reports are fake and complete fabricated. There's no such memo, says Minister of External Affairs spokesperson. United States based on online news outlet The Intercept reported that the official order was signed by Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra and listed several pro-Khalistan figures. Sorry, this was a news from the Hindu newspaper. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that Article 374 years after J&K special status scrapped Supreme Court verdict today. On September 5, F5 Judge Constitution Bench presided by Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud had reserved its judgment after hearing the petitioners, the Centre and J&K administration for 16 days. The bench includes Justice S.K. Kaul, Sanjeev Khanna, B.R. Gawai and Surya Kant. Justice Kaul will retire on December 25, while the other three judges are in line to be the Chief Justice of India. Indian Express also states that country takes small step on climate adaptation. No movement on the other issues. Conference of Party 28 President the United Arab Emirates convened Majlis or an assembly to facilitate these informal discussions at an open platform on other subjects including the contentious issue of fossil fuel phase out. Negotiators were still engaged in informal discussions to look for common ground. Indian Express also said is that decode politics Amit Shah, Jana Sangha slogan and Jammu and Kashmir. During a recent discussion in the Lok Sabha on J&K bill, Shah said एक देश में दो विधान दो प्रधान और दो निशान नहीं हो सकते. This is a slogan that the Jana Sangh adopted in 1952 when pushing for Jammu and Kashmir's full integration into India. Faced with the queries on abrogation, Shah was trying to underline the ideological commitment of the BJP, which it carries from its precursor Bharatiya Jana Sangh, to complete the integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the Union of India. Towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Supreme Court's Article 370 verdict today, core issue being examined in case. A five-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court was set to deliver a verdict on Monday on whether the August 2019 decision of the Union government to scrap Article 370 and bifurcate Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories was valid. Supreme Court of India. The Times also states that Delhi pollution reason for firm or yet shows data. The capital will likely record another spell of bad air in the second half of the December, but will fall short from plugging into the zero zone according to the data from the Central Pollution Control Board. Experts attributed the hazardous air quality index levels in November to an array of factors, including the annual problem of farm fires, followed by toxic firecrackers being burst around Diwali, along with the local emissions. Hamas warning to Israel: no hostage will leave alive unless Israel-Hamas war and Israeli mobile artillery unit fire a shell from southern Israel towards the Gaza Strip in a position near the Israel-Gaza border. Hamas warned that no hostage would leave the Gaza territory alive unless the group's demands were met. Obeida, spokesperson of Hamas armored wings, said in a television broadcast, as per news agency AFP, neither the fascist enemy and its arrogant leadership nor its supporters can take their prisoners alive without an exchange and a negotiation and a meeting the demand of the resistance. Going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, country of 1.4 billion people can't rely on service sector alone, need all growth engines to fire for jobs, says Harvard's Ricardo Hausman. Hausman warned that India's petroleum exports may not be sustainable. India's refined petroleum exports have been on the rise and has helped India register net export growth in financial year 2023, even as non-oil exports remained stagnant, Ricardo Hausman said. Government plans long-term exemption for green hydrogen projects from this manufacturers shortlist for solar panels. Following the Galwan Valley skirmishes in 2020, the Indian government issued orders to clamp down on participation of Chinese vendors in public procurement. Recently, the Indian procurement portal GEM announced the removal of hundreds of Chinese vendors over the past 3 years. India needs to add an additional renewable energy capacity of 125 gigawatt to meet green hydrogen targets. Airline is likely to save rupees 150 to 180 crore by using Eastern Cross taxiways at Delhi Airport, DIAL CEO. DIAL has also said 55,000 tons of carbon dioxide emission is equivalent to planning about 15 lakh trees. Airlines are likely to save around rupees 150 to 180 crore annually by using the Delhi Airport's Eastern Cross taxiways that help reduce taxiing time as well as fuel consumption by aircraft, according to a top official. As per DIAL, the ECT is estimated to save around 350 kg of fuel every time an aircraft taxis through the runway from RW29R to Terminal 1st and vice versa. Going towards the world news, including IEA and United Arab Emirates' success claim on climate pledge not enough to bridge even one-third emission gap by 2030. Countries take small step on climate adoption, no movement on other tough issues. 3 people killed and 1 wounded in the shooting at Atlanta apartment building, police say. Philippines China trade questions over South China Sea collision. Egyptians vote for president with El-Sisi certain to win. Hong Kong activists arrested in city's birdcage election. Going towards the science and technology, watch the Space Aditya L1, China's methane rocket and Webb's Ghost. Indian Space Research Organization ISRO on Friday shared the first ever full disk image of the sun in infrared light captured by the Aditya L1 mission, and India's neighbor China has been busy as well. Zhou 2 rocket powered by a mixture of methane and liquid oxygen. From the artificial intelligence point of view, Google Gemini has no match for GPT-4 fake demo video. Shanky MMLU benchmark black backlash. The demo video of Gemini has raised a few eyebrows on the internet. while Google has responded, there seems to be more Gemini. Google Gemini, which was released in three sizes, boasts of exceptional multimodal capabilities. India will be global leader in a conversation around artificial intelligence regulation. Markham Erickson. Generative artificial intelligence is a consequential transition. To move into a full artificial intelligence ecosystem, there is a tremendous amount of innovation that is happening, and a tremendous amount of competition. Markham Erickson, Vice President, Government Affairs and Public Policy at Google Center for Excellence. At last, there's a famous quotation said by Rabindranath Tagore, whose birth anniversary is 7 May 1861 up to 8 August 1941, was an Indian polymath who was active as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, educationist, and a painter during the age of Bengal Renaissance. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and to early 20th centuries. Author of the profoundly sensitive and fresh and beautiful poetry Gitanjali, he became in 1913 the first non-European and the first lyricist to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. Tagore's poetic songs were vivid as spiritual and mercurial, where his elegant prose and magical poetry were widely popular in Indian subcontinent. He was fellow of the Royal Asiatic Society, referred as the Bard of the Bengal. Tagore was known by the sobriquets Gurudev, Kobi Guru, and Bisu Kobi. At last, he says a famous quotation. He says that the greed of gain has no time or limit to its capaciousness. Its one objective is to produce and consume. It has a pity neither for beautiful nature nor for living human beings. It is a ruthlessly ready without a momentous hesitation to crush beauty and life. Okay, thank you.